My beloved child, few realize that there are moments when the angels do not bring another miracle but leave you with a single reminder. Do not rush to ask for what is new, while I am still waiting for you to understand what is old. Prayers for abundance and prosperity keep rising like a flood. Yet how many know that at times the last grace I send is not more but stop? For if you do not open your heart in time, those miracles will quietly depart, not because I do not love you, but because you are not yet ready to receive. I see many souls growing weary as they chase instant signs like a thirsty child who drinks a mirage in the desert. You pray in order to see, yet you refuse to trust while the way is still dim. Some faith springs up like wild grass green for a moment, then withering the instant the true sun of trial touches it. Many say they believe, but in truth they are gambling in the name of faith. They reach for the altar not with reverence, but with a hunger to change their lot. They treat faith like a secret formula to bend destiny, a shortcut to evade the years of waiting and hardship. But I tell you, no short road leads to heaven, and no true miracle unfolds where the soul still does business with God by calculation. People are easily lured by promises of see it now, receive it at once, as though God were a machine that runs according to their will. Self-anointed prophets arise, preaching that if you follow a few steps, pray the exact words, recite the precise formula, blessing will pour down. But my child, grace does not come from a formula. It springs from humility. The more feverishly you hunt for wonders, the easier it is to lose me amid the world's noise. I do not promise you an easy road. I promise you will not be alone. True faith is not a trade to obtain what you want. It is a transforming fire ambition into stillness, fear into peace. The real miracle is not merely a healed illness, added money, or altered fortune. It is the grace to bow your head and remain at peace, to wait without complaint. Not everything that wears the name sacred comes from God. There are lights that seem to guide, yet are only reflections from the flame of pride. Remember King Saul in the Old Testament. When God was silent, he turned to a medium to summon the spirit of Samuel, and that was the hour his kingdom fell. When people refuse to wait for God's word, they seek other voices, swifter, more alluring, yet leading astray. Discern, my child. True faith is in no hurry to prove itself, and God is never in a hurry to answer. I know you live in a time when lights crowd every path. Many speak in my name words that do not come from me. Some preach of heaven while their hearts are stocked with worldly ambition. Hands may rest upon your head in the name of blessing, yet behind them lies a hidden price. Be alert. Satan can speak the language of prayer, and he always begins with sweetness. As St. Paul said, even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. 2 Cor 1114. Do not trust the glitter before your eyes, for not every light illumines the way to God. Have you ever asked why faith has grown so fragile? People no longer wait, no longer examine their hearts, no longer listen to the Spirit. They listen only to pleasing promises. The peril of this age is not too few voices about God, but too many voices speaking for God. They turn me into a dispenser of gifts, a device that fulfills every request, a shop selling blessings on demand. But when the storm breaks, they vanish like smoke, and you, if you do not cling to my word, will drift with the illusions they sow. Discernment is the first work of the true believer. Without it, faith becomes misshapen, and you will bow to your own reflection, mistaking it for God. Look again at your first steps in the life of faith. In those days, your trust was simple: a short prayer, a hand upon your chest, and warmth returned to your heart. But little by little, you wanted to feel God, to see a sign at once, to have proof that I exist. From there, you sought every place with a rumor of miracle, every teacher with a word of revelation. I watched with sorrow for you, forgot that at times I choose silence not to punish but to train you to recognize my voice in stillness. True faith, my child, is not seeing and then believing. It is believing and then recognizing. You must learn to listen with the heart, not with curiosity. Discernment is the soul's art, while it stands between two calls, one from God, one from the self. My voice is gentle, unhurried, never driving you into fear. The other voice is urgent, promising, goading you to act, to try to chase. When you feel yourself being dragged by excitement, stop. Remember, what comes from me leads to peace, while what does not comes from me will leave you exhausted, however radiant it first appears. Choose peace over spectacle, for peace is the sign of the Spirit, and wonders without truth are but the conjurer's trick. Long ago I sent a man to warn my people, the prophet Jeremiah. He preached among a nation accustomed to false prophets, those who promised, "All will be well, nothing to fear." But Jeremiah stood and said what none wished to hear, that the city would fall for its sins. They would not listen. They threw him into a muddy cistern. Yet the rejected warning proved true. You see, truth is not always pleasant, and God's word often contradicts our preferences. So when you meet a prophecy that soothes you, ask whether it is mine or merely a balm that leaves you comfortable in your error. My dear child, I am not afraid of your questions. I fear only that you stop questioning once you find what you wanted to hear. Some bear the name believer, yet they seek only a passing comfort. They accept what lessens their fear, not what makes them holier. Faith is not a sedative. It is a two-edged sword, cutting pride away, laying bare the shadowed places within. If a teaching leaves you at ease, but does not move you to conversion, it may not be my voice. I know there are hours when you are tired, when prayers seem to dissolve into the air, when you look around and see no sign at all. In such times, your heart is easily drawn to anyone who says, "I can make you see a miracle right now." Do not let despair make you credulous. The devil does not arrive in a frightening shape. He comes as one who understands you, caters to you, persuades you. He is leading you toward the light. He needs only a slight misbelief to pull you far from me for a lifetime. Therefore, I repeat, be sober and watchful for your adversary. The devil prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. 1 Pet 5:8. Discernment is not the work of the strong, but of the humble, those who know they can still be wrong. If you would know what is from me, look at the fruit it bears. A word from the Spirit sows peace within you and stirs you to love, to forgive, to live more humbly. Words that rise from the self make you restless, smug, or afraid. When you feel driven to do something quickly to prove your faith, pause and pray, "Lord, if this is not from you, teach me to wait." In that very pause, you already have a victory, for you have refused the lure of temptation. I do not want you to live in suspicion. I want you to live in clarity. Discernment is not fear of error. It is the knowledge that you need guidance. You cannot discern alone if you are not rooted in my word and in the community. My word is a lamp for your feet, a light upon your path. As you read, ponder, and listen each day, you will recognize my familiar voice among 1,000 imitations. Let Scripture be the measure of everything you hear, for any word that runs against the spirit of love and humility does not come from me. Remember, my child, not everyone who says, "Lord, Lord," belongs to the kingdom, but the one who does the will of my Father in heaven. Do not let your faith be stolen by those who claim my name, but do not carry my spirit. Faith without discernment is a ship at sea without a compass. One light breeze is enough to sweep it away. Discernment is hard, but in that hardness your faith matures. Learn to slow down, to watch, and to let the Holy Spirit teach you what is true. And when you begin to recognize the true word, you will find yourself less eager to run after miracles. You will understand that what I desire is not quick faith, but deep faith. Discernment opens the door to the next stretch of your journey, where you no longer treat me as a tool to barter for favors, but as Father, the one who walks with you through every trial, with or without wonders. I know how often your heart is impatient. You pray today and hope for a miracle tomorrow. You think that if you believe enough, say the right words, keep the right formula, I must act. But I am not a magic lamp to be rubbed for your wishes. Faith does not operate by the arithmetic of this world. It is not a formula for summoning blessings. It is a small flame nourished by patience, by silence, and by surrender. I owe you no miracle. What I give you is myself, and that is the greatest grace. Today, many have turned faith into a transactional recipe. They come to church with a list of wants, recite prayers like paying a debt, perform good works like fees to secure a favor. They forget that I do not weigh their hearts by the number of recitations, but by the heartbeat of love within every word. When faith becomes a tool, it loses its soul. Love cannot be demanded, nor can it force me to respond. As a father does not give a gift because he is compelled, but because he loves, so too miracles do not come because you press me, but because I know when they are truly needed for your soul. You have asked me, Lord, why do I pray so long, and you remain silent? And I would say to you, blessed are those who have not seen, and yet believe. John 20:29. You want immediate results because you fear your prayer is useless. But true faith does not require proof. If you only believe when you see, your belief belongs to the senses, not to the spirit. Faith is born in the dark where you see nothing and still choose to stand firm. That darkness is not abandonment. It is the place where I teach you to trust me more than your own feelings. Do you know that even those I loved most in Scripture prayed and were not answered at once? Abraham waited decades to have a child. Joseph was thrown into prison, though he had done nothing wrong. Paul begged me to take away the thorn in the flesh, and I did not, for my grace was enough for him. Even my only son. Jesus prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane, Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Mount 2639. Yet the Father did not remove that cup, for at times what you pray to avoid is precisely the path I choose to save you. Do not fear that the miracle will not come. Fear rather that the miracle comes and your soul remains hardened. I see your weariness in the waiting. I know your sadness when you hear others tell how they were healed, made prosperous, granted peace in an instant. You ask yourself, and what about me? But child, do not let envy choke your faith. Your miracle may not be as loud as someone else's, but it is happening in the way you keep praying, keep loving, even when you see no result. That is a quiet miracle, the miracle of the one who will not give up. I am at work in you little by little in silence. Believe that no prayer is wasted. Some gifts are withheld, so that you may grow, not because I have forgotten. Many come to me, as if to a fast program. Pray right, live right, receive blessing fast. But grace is not a shortcut, and I do not sign contracts with men. When I answer slowly, it is not rejection. It is my way of teaching you what you truly need. I do not give bread to those who only want a full belly. I give the word so they may know how to live. If I granted everything you wanted, you would never learn to desire higher things. Therefore, at times, I hold back the miracle that you may learn faith does not rest in results but in relationship. Faith is not waiting for gifts. It is remaining with the Father even with empty hands. My beloved, I understand in this world everything demands speed. Believe fast, trade fast, achieve fast. But the kingdom of heaven does not operate like the marketplace. When you treat faith as a formula, you unwittingly turn God into a product and yourself into a consumer of spiritual miracles. The world will applaud when you succeed in the Lord, but I look to the moment you quietly believe in the night. That is when I am closest to you. For true faith needs no stage, no audience, only fidelity of heart. There was a woman in Scripture who came near my son just to touch the hem of his garment. She had suffered hemorrhages for 12 years, spent all she had, and was not cured. She made no demands, raised no voice. She only whispered within, "If I touch even his garment, I shall be healed." And my son turned not because he saw with his eyes, but because he felt her faith. He said, "Daughter, your faith has saved you." Mach 5:3-4. Do you see? What wrought the miracle was not the way she prayed, but the faith she guarded when all other hope was gone. Such faith does not run like a formula. It lives, it breathes, it bows, and it is answered. There was another King Herod who longed to see a miracle, but out of curiosity, not faith. He wanted my son to perform a wonder for his amusement, and my son remained silent. That silence is the answer to all who treat faith as a tool to satisfy curiosity. Miracles are not for display, but for hearts that hunger to be saved. If your heart seeks only sight for proof, you will never recognize me, for I did not come to prove power, but to transform souls. Faith is never born of coercion. It is the fruit of love. And love always requires freedom. You may believe and you may walk away. Still I wait. When you believe, only to receive that belief, dies the moment the wish is denied. But when you believe because you know me as Father, you cease counting favors, for the relationship itself becomes the reward. I want you to grow to the point where you no longer ask, "When will God act?" but simply say, "Let it be done according to your will." Do not think I work miracles to prove I am God. I need prove nothing. Every true miracle serves only to open a way for love. Yet people prefer formulas, for formulas give the illusion of control. They want to know what to read, what to do, how many times to obtain blessing. Thus faith becomes a technical manual instead of a living communion. But the Spirit does not fit a mold. St. John said, "The wind blows where it wills," John 3:8. So it is with faith. It moves with the breath of my will, not with human want. My child, I want you to believe in freedom, not in calculation. I do not wish to see you afraid that if you fail to say enough prayers or attend the exact days, I will punish you. These things matter, but only when done out of love. If you pray like a machine and read as if signing a contract, the prayer is hollow. I want to hear the heart's voice, not the voice of formulas. Speak to me as you speak to a father. At times, a single honest sigh reaches higher than 1,000 memorized words. There will be moments when you pray, and nothing seems to change. But look deeper, you are the one being changed. I do not always still the storm at sea, yet I can still the waves within your heart. That is the truest miracle, the one no camera can capture, and no story can fully tell, which only the one who has lived it can understand. Each time you choose trust over complaint, waiting over giving up, love over closing your heart, then faith is at work, and the miracle is happening in silence. One day when you look back, you will see no prayer was forgotten, only answered in another way. What you thought was failure was a shield I raised to protect you. Some of my not yet were yes for a later time. Miracles are not always dazzling. Sometimes they are simply the fact that you are still standing while everything else falls apart. That is the sign I am with you. Child, stop trying to summon a miracle as one summons the wind. Let it come as it will, like flowers opening after winter. Faith is not to force heaven to act, but to learn how to live through heaven's silence without leaving it. If you can keep faith amid disappointment, you have grasped the very nature of faith. Only when you stop seeking miracles to satisfy yourself will you notice the deeper truth, that true grace cannot be rushed, and every unanswered prayer is part of the design I am completing in you. Be ready, for the real journey of faith begins here, where you learn to embrace my slow work instead of demanding that I rush to match your pace. My beloved child, I know you are tired of waiting for a miracle, a reply, a sign. You think that if I truly loved you, I would have done it already. But grace is not a gift tossed quickly into impatient hands. It is kneaded over time like a grain of wheat that must fall and die before it bears fruit. I do not withhold because you are unworthy. I refrain because a gift given too soon can be a weight on hands still weak. I am not slow. You are simply ahead of heaven's timetable. Remember, there is no Easter without Good Friday. There is no victory without the cost of loneliness, tears, and silence. Yet people today want to skip the cross and walk straight to the empty tomb. They want light without night blossoms, without barren soil. Child, I cannot shorten the making of grace, because its very slowness is the lesson you need. Heaven's delay is not postponement, it is the breathing of love. I see many who pray with haste. Lord, do it now, change me at once. But grace does not arrive like lightning, it soaks like dew. You rise thinking nothing has happened, yet your soul has been bathed in my favor. Grace works in hiddenness, where you cannot see it, measure it, or boast of it. I veil myself in slowness, for only there can your soul be truly forged. If I indulged you and gave all at once, your faith would remain childish, loving the gift more than the giver. Once I taught you through the story of Israel in the desert. They were promised the land, yet they walked 40 years. You ask, why not the shorter way? Why not at once? Because had I led them straight in, they would have remained slaves in spirit while free in body. They needed 40 years to unlearn the mind of bondage and to trust me daily through the manna. So too, you need time to shed old patterns, the ones that still think grace can be controlled. The desert cannot be shortened, for it is the desert that gives faith its shape. You often accuse me of silence, but silence is not absence, just as night does not mean the sun has died. Grace is always at work, it simply makes no noise. My seeds do not sprout upon the clamor of the surface, they root in the deep. When you see nothing, grace is sending down roots. Be patient. I know your heart trembles when every prayer seems to vanish into the void. Yet if you look back, you will find that during that time you learned to pray fewer words and to love more. You demanded less and complained less. That is grace. The miracle was not late. You were being prepared to receive it without being blinded by it. Know this grace that comes quickly, often fades quickly. A fire that flares too soon dies fast, while embers that smolder burn steady through the night. I do not want you to be one who believes only when there are results, but one who knows how to believe when only fidelity remains. Each time I make you wait, I am purifying your motives. Do you pray because you desire me, or because you desire reward? If your heart is clean, delay will not feel like pain, but like the hour of my will. For I do not work by your calendar, but by the time of salvation. Someone asked me, why doesn't the Lord act at once to deliver the world from suffering? And I said to them, because if I shorten suffering without changing the human heart, the suffering will return in another form. Grace does not polish the surface. Grace heals at the root. But to heal at the root takes time, tears, and your cooperation. Many want to be saved without wanting to change. They want heaven to intervene while keeping the ways of earth. I cannot save anyone who still clutches their own chains. That is why I am slow. But that slowness is born of love, not neglect. As St. James wrote, be patient, brothers and sisters, until the Lord's coming. See how the farmer waits for the precious fruit of the earth, being patient, until it receives the early and the late rains. Jos 5:7. So it is with grace, my child. It is a harvest to be tended, not an instant miracle. If I were to shorten the process, the tree of your faith would sprout weak and tender, and a small wind would break it. Many long to reap early but refuse to sow deeply, and so they gather early flowers but never see fruit. I do not want your faith like that. I want it rooted deep, even if it takes a lifetime. Lift your eyes to the cross, the place where the work of salvation was accomplished not with clamor, but with endurance. Hanging on the wood for 3 hours, my only begotten did not cry. End this quickly, but said, Father, not my will, but yours be done. That is absolute faith, no shortcuts, no resistance, only surrender. When you can say those words in trial, grace will pour down even before you see it. For what you need is not a solution but transformation. Miracles come and go. The grace of transformation remains forever in your soul. Do you remember the prophet Elijah? When he hid in the cave in despair, I did not come in the storm, nor in the earthquake, nor in the fire, but in a gentle whisper. My grace often arrives like that, small and soft, unnoticed by the impatient. If you insist on thunder, you will miss the murmur. If you chase great signs, you will forget that silence itself is nurturing your growing faith. True grace makes no noise. It makes you softer, deeper, more humble. The more you try to shorten the way, the more you miss it. For in every slow second of mine, a seed of goodness is already breaking ground. There are times you beg for a door to open and I close it. You grow angry, you weep, you accuse. But child, if I opened that door too soon, it would drop upon you a weight you could not bear. I close doors not to keep you out, but to keep you intact. Grace does not arrive in the way you imagine, but in the way I know you need. As a father will not give a child a knife, however much they clamor, neither will I give what you want if it would cut your hands. At times, the greatest gift I give you is delay. I do not want you to fear slowness. Let my time refine you as fire refines gold. What is most precious is not the result, but the person you become along the way. Grace is measured not by speed, but by depth. The longer you wait, the more you are cleansed of self-will. The more patient you become, the more you resemble me. So whenever you complain the Lord has not acted, I smile, for I am acting within your very waiting. My dear one, I know there are moments you want to give up to shorten the road. But if you will pause and look around, you will see that all creation lives by my rhythm. No flower blooms in an instant. No dawn appears before the night has passed. If created, things can wait. How much more must your soul fashioned by my own hands learn the same? I am not slow. I simply do all things in their time. My grace always arrives in time, but never ahead of time. Do not compare your journey with another's. Every soul is its own process. Some walk fast, some slow, but the point is that they keep walking. Do not let another's miracles make you doubt your path. Perhaps their bodies were healed while your heart is being healed. Perhaps they are being lifted up while you are being lowered to find humility. Each is given grace in their own way, and I never repeat the same wonder twice. And when you accept my process, you will cease to fear delay. You will see that what matters is not arriving early, but arriving whole. What comes quickly also passes quickly. What matures in quiet endures into eternity. You will stop asking when and begin to pray. Teach me to be faithful. Then grace will no longer be something you await, but something you are already living. And when you have learned to walk in my unhurried pace, you will grasp something deeper still, that the true fruit of faith is not display or visible wonders, but inner transformation, where peace, love, and humility become the signs that God is with you. My beloved, I see many who come to me with hands raised high while their hearts remain shut. They speak fine words about me, yet their lives are full of rivalry, pride, and the craving for praise. They think faith must be proved by what is spectacular, by miracles, prophecies, dazzling light. But I tell you, true faith is not noisy. It needs no audience, no applause. It takes root in silence, and its fruit is not fame but transformation. A soul become gentler, humbler, and more loving. Many have traded the substance of faith for outward forms. They boast of favors received, of miracles they have witnessed, and turn faith into a medal to wear upon the chest. They like being seen at prayer. They like to recount, "The Lord did this for me," yet within they are scarcely changed. Child, if faith stops at being seen, known, and praised, it dies as soon as people turn away. True faith does not exalt you. It makes you smaller that God may grow in you. As John the Baptist said, he must increase. I must decrease, John 3:30. I do not reproach those who receive favors, for I myself am the giver. But I grieve when they use those favors to build statues to themselves. Some, once healed, imagine their faith stronger than others, and look upon those who suffer with disdain as if to say, if you believed as I do, you too would be saved. But child, grace is not a reward for the deserving, it is a gift for the humble. A miracle is not proof of merit, it is the sign of mercy. Do not turn my gifts into a measure of your worth, for then you feed pride with grace, and pride kills faith from within. Faith does not seek glory, it seeks transformation. One who truly believes need not prove anything, they only need to live. You may speak 1,000 words about God, but if those words do not soften your heart, they are no more than wind across a barren field. Those of true faith speak little, their gaze carries peace, their words are kind, and their presence makes others want to live better. This is the sign of the Spirit, unshowy, unnoisy, yet strong and enduring. Do you remember St. Paul's words? If I have all faith so as to move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. 1 Cor 1:3-2. This is what I long to etch into your heart. Faith that does not bear love is only an empty echo. You may believe that I am powerful, but if you do not let that power make your heart gentler and more merciful, you are still only standing outside the door of the kingdom. For I do not merely want you to believe that I exist, I want you to become like me. And to become like me, you must learn to love as I love. Many assume that, as faith grows, life must glitter with blessings. But child, the true fruit of faith is not success or ease. It reveals itself in how you respond to what opposes your will. When others wound you, you choose forgiveness. When your life descends into suffering, you keep your peace. When you are praised, you know how to bow your head. This is the fruit no world can counterfeit. Grace does not make you conspicuous. Grace makes you transparent so that through you others see me. I see some who like to speak of signs of favor as if they were spiritual medals. They forget that what I seek is not the performance of religion, but a humble heart. One person who quietly lives righteously is worth more than 1,000 who proclaim their own virtue. When you do good without waiting to be seen, when you help another without seeking credit, when you pray for those who have harmed you, then your faith blossoms before my eyes. You do not need the lights of a stage, for the true light already burns within you. Remember, Jesus refused a showy miracle when he was challenged to prove he was the Son of God. He did only what was needed to save, not what would dazzle. When he was crucified, he remained silent, though he could have summoned angel armies. Therefore, do not think true faith will make you outshine others. Faith does not lift you above them, so you may look down. It lowers you so you can kneel and wash their feet. The truest miracle is not on the altar, but wherever you love in the midst of ordinary life. Faith is not measured by what you possess, but by what you dare to lose. If your faith makes you love God more while despising others, it is not faith but illusion. I want your faith to give birth to compassion, not conceit. Each time you forgive, each time you renounce selfishness, each time you dare to admit your fault, you are being transformed. And this transformation is the living proof that the Spirit is at work within you. Beware religious display. It may look holy, but it is often only fear of being forgotten. You do not need to prove your faith to the world, for I have already seen it. Do not seek applause for your devotion, for then you trade an eternal reward for a passing glance. When you do good and no one knows, I am there, I see. In such quiet deeds, grace is cultivated, and there I most often meet you. Child, the fruit of faith is not dazzling like fireworks, but quiet like a candle. Fireworks blaze for a moment and die. A small candle burns on and warms the room. The world loves the brilliant light. I choose the enduring flame. Do not be afraid if your life of faith bears nothing grand. I do not seek greatness, I seek fidelity. When you keep doing good though no one watches, when you keep praying though you are alone, when you keep kindness alive though wounded, then you are doing the very thing that makes the angels smile. No, this true transformation does not happen in a day. It is a long process in which I refine you little by little. At times I allow you to stumble, so you will recognize your need for grace. At times I allow you to lose, so you will learn the worth of love. Every wound, if you offer it to me, will become a place where light can break through. Do not fear change, even when it hurts, for only a soul that has been broken truly understands what it means to be rebuilt in grace. And when you have let me transform you, you will feel no need to display yourself. You will understand that my presence in your life is not for others to admire you, but for them to behold me. You will find happiness in simplicity, peace, in the small and ordinary, and thanksgiving, even in what does not go your way. This is the fruit of faith, something that cannot be bought, faked, or performed. When you reach that point, you will no longer ask, "Do I have enough faith?" but will say, "Lord, keep renewing me day by day." Then your faith has matured, for it no longer looks outward for proof, but turns inward to seek the Spirit. And in that very moment you are ready to grasp something deeper still, that the true journey of faith does not end with personal change, but begins with a simple returning and living again the basic small hidden things where you meet me not through secret rites, but through the very breath of each day. My beloved, after the whirlwinds of longing, the lofty quests, and the miracles you hoped for, you may discover this. The road to me has never been complicated. It is not found in arcane formulas or hidden rituals, but in what is utterly ordinary, the simple return. As your soul grows, it tends to chase what is sublime to grasp. Yet I am still waiting where I have always been, in the small room in daily prayer, in the eyes of the one you once hurt and now dare to ask forgiveness. The farther you search abroad, the more lost you become. The simpler you become, the nearer you are. I do not demand great exploits of you. I do not need you to prove your love with grand gestures, but with fidelity in little things. True faith does not begin with great events, but with the daily decision, repeated again and again, to choose truth over deceit, forgiveness over resentment, trust over complaint. When you live these things in hiddenness, you are living the greatest thing of all. Whoever is faithful in very little is faithful also in much. Luke 16:10. I do not want you to seek what is higher than others, only to choose what is truer than yesterday. The world likes to paint the spiritual journey in mystical colors. People say you must have secret rites, travel to far-off holy places, meet the anointed to receive a real blessing. But child, I wait for you in things so simple they are often overlooked. I do not hide in clouds or in temples of gold. I am where you bow your head and pray from the heart, where your hand shares bread with the hungry, where you forgive the one who once caused you pain. Many roam the earth seeking me, yet if they would only stop and be still, they would see that I have always been there and have never left. Do you remember the story of Mary and Martha? When my son came to visit, Martha bustled about with many tasks, eager to do much for the Lord, while Mary simply sat and listened to his word. Martha complained about her sister, but my son said, "Mary has chosen the better part." Luke 10:42. The better part is not doing more, but being fully present. So it is with you. At times, in your striving to do things for God, you forget to be with God. The simple return is learning this again, to stop, to be present, to listen without rushing, without competing, without display. Child, I know your heart has traveled many complicated paths of faith. You have read much, heard much, sought much, yet the farther you went, the more tired you felt. For faith is not a mountain climb to the highest peak, but a winding road that brings you back to the starting point, where you know you are loved and need only to love in return. You do not need to look for me on the hilltop, for I am walking beside you on the dusty road. I do not wait for you to be perfect before I come. I come that you might become gentle. The true journey does not begin when you achieve something, but when you set down what you do not need. Many think that to meet God one must have the extraordinary, hear a call, see a sign, or feel an overpowering emotion. But I want you to understand, not everyone is awakened by thunder. Some are awakened by the fall of a single drop of dew. My presence is not noisy. You do not need to feel in order to know I am there. Believe even when nothing seems to happen. This is the summit of simplicity: to believe without proof, to love without condition, to pray without needing to see results. The simple path is a homecoming. Return to a pure heart, to the Word, to the community, to the quiet cadence of grace. Examine yourself each day, not to be afraid, but to see where you are going. Read Scripture, not to find a verse to fulfill your wishes, but to hear my voice in every line. Pray not to persuade me, but to let me touch the corners you keep hidden. And love not to be recognized, but because love is my own life living in you. You will see that when you return to simplicity, your faith will be set free. It will no longer be the burden of religious forms, but the natural breath of life. You will speak fewer prayers, yet live prayer more. You will talk less about God, yet help others sense Him more. Simplicity itself will draw you to the truth, for the mysteries of the kingdom are always hidden in small things. Remember, my son was born in a cave, not in a palace. The love of God needs no splendor to be great. I know that to the world, simplicity looks like weakness. But in the kingdom, simplicity is strength. Only the soul that has passed beyond the noise of pride is quiet enough to hear my voice. When you live simply, you will find grace comes more naturally, peace spreads more gently, and faith grows light as breath. You will understand that I do not desire you to be great in religion, only to live as a true child, one who knows how to love, to trust, and to return. My dear one, this simple way will not make you stand out, but it will save you. For true faith is not measured by what you can prove before the world, but by how you live before me. Each time you pause to do a small thing with great love, to help someone, to forgive, to smile, to pray, in secret, heaven draws one step nearer to you. And that is how I am writing miracles again, not with display, but with humility. When you understand this, you will see that the life of faith is not a race, but a walk with me step by step. No more need for complex rites, no more waiting for a special revelation, only the choice to live in truth and in love. This is the way of the saints, the little way Saint Therese of the Child Jesus spoke of, to do small things with great love. And when you live this, you will discover you no longer need to seek miracles, because your very life has become one. And then when you touch this simplicity, you will know that the journey of faith never ends. It only grows deeper, gentler, truer. You will stop asking, "Where is God?" because you will recognize Him everywhere, in the wind, in tears, in a smile, in the ordinary breath of each day. And then you will see faith is no longer a shortcut to reach God, but the long, slow, quiet road, bright with light, where every search comes to rest in a single thing: love. From the depths of silent seasons, you may think everything has stopped. The door has closed. The call in your heart has sunk beneath the darkness of waiting. But, beloved child, silence is not an ending. It is the still breath before the great wind rises. When I hide you, it is not punishment, but preparation. Like the seed beneath the soil, unseen, unsung, yet in that hidden place, life is quietly multiplying. I let you pass through days that seem empty to train your heart, to teach you to believe even when you cannot see, so that your faith becomes steadfast as bedrock in the changing stream of life. The tears you once shed have not vanished into nothing. They have soaked into the ground and become the streams that will water your harvest. Not one of your sorrows is wasted. Every hurt is being woven by me into a robe of glory. Remember this: every battle you have fought was not to make you collapse, but to prove that I am with you. When David stood before Goliath, Others saw only a small boy, but I saw a warrior anointed. So too the world may judge you weak, but in my eyes you are a living witness to my power. Do not fear, delay for time in. My hands is the tool that brings all things to completion. Every door that closes before you is only making ready. The one door I, myself, will open. When you cannot see the road, that is when I am drawing the map. When you hear nothing, that is when heaven is whispering my plan for you. At times I permit you to be misunderstood and forsaken, so your heart can learn to love without return, to forgive when no one asks. For true love is not measured by repayment, but by the strength to keep loving through the wound. You have walked through those dark days, not to prove your own might, but to prove that my grace is sufficient for you. In the very moment you thought everything was broken, I was fitting the pieces together in ways you could not imagine. In the very moment you felt you had lost all, I was laying the foundation for a greatness you had not yet dared to dream. Now you will see that those who left you were only making room for those I have chosen to place in your life. You will understand that bitter words did not kill you. They made you strong enough to live free of the world's praise. You will recognize that every time you were brought low, I was placing you in the exact posture to set a crown upon your head. For humility is the ground of true glory. What you took for failure was in truth the beginning of victory. And when the appointed hour arrives, no power will hinder what I have ordained. I will make heaven and earth labor on your behalf. I will astonish those who once despised you when they witness favor pouring over your life. I will cause your name to be spoken in places your feet have never trod, not to exalt you, but to reveal my glory through you. Your hidden prayers, the sighs in the night, the moments your head bowed under pain have all been received. Not a single word of yours has fallen into the void. Every whisper has become a hymn rising to heaven, and now I answer with the melody of blessing. Rise, for this is the season of your proclamation. No longer a season of silence or concealment, but of light shining through you. Walk in steady confidence, for every step has been prepared upon the road of wonders. I have commanded what seemed impossible to bow to my will. I have arranged the people you must meet to appear at the appointed time. I have ordered doors that seemed sealed to swing open at a single word from me. Everything you have endured carries my imprint, from the sweat upon your brow and the sleepless nights to the moments you nearly let go. You are chosen not for perfection, but for faithfulness within weakness. I have seen your perseverance when no one else did. I have heard your voice when no one answered. I have been there with every breath you drew and every weary heartbeat. And now I am turning the very ground that wounded you into a place of restoration. The scorn will become testimony, the tears will be woven into laughter, and old scars will blossom into flowers of hope. You will find yourself walking within grace, and everything you once feared will fade into a pale memory beneath the light of triumph. Child, I have never forgotten you. There has not been a day I have not thought of you. Each morning, when you wake in anxious haze, I am there waiting for your eyes to lift. When you walk in loneliness, I walk beside you, even when you do not perceive it. When you collapse, it is my hand that lifts you. Not for a single moment have you fallen outside my sight. Even in your darkest days, when you believed I was silent, I was speaking more loudly than ever. You simply had not yet learned to listen. And now I say to you, your season has come. Believe, for what I began in you I will bring to completion. Do not let fear dim the light within you. Do not let the voices of the world drown out the word I have spoken. You are not the sum of mistakes. You are the proof of a divine design. Everything I have permitted carries a purpose deeper than you imagine. I did not weave you together in haste, but with the careful workmanship of the Creator. Every crack in you is a place where my light can stream through. Every wound is a witness that you still live, still trust, still move forward through what seemed impossible. Remember, blessing is not merely getting what you want, it is becoming who I destined you to be. Your maturity is not measured by what you achieve, but by how you keep a gentle heart in the storm, how you keep faith when all else dissolves, how you choose love when you are hurt. I am making you a witness to something great, not to lift you up alone, but so that others may see me through you. And when you step across the threshold of the new, carry gratitude with you, for gratitude will steady your feet amid abundance. And one day, when you look back, you will understand nothing was wasted. Every tear was exchanged for joy. Every season of waiting became a golden hour of growth. Every bleeding wound now stands as a mark of victory. You will know I never abandoned you, that everything I did was for love of you. Then you will no longer ask why, but will say thank you. For you will see that I used the broken pieces of your life to compose the most perfect picture, the one that only grace could paint. And this is what I want you to carry into the world, the light of faith, the warmth of hope, and the strength of a love that never fades. I have watched the gales of your life, the secret tears that fell unseen, the nights you sat alone with a torn heart and still kept praying. You thought I was silent, but within that silence I was weaving greatness. Not one sob vanished into emptiness. Each reached the deepest place in my heart. You did not know that in your weakest moments your faith grew strongest. I overlooked none of your journey, from the times you were misunderstood and pushed aside to the moments you chose trust over bitterness. That quiet faithfulness has moved the heavens. You need not justify yourself any longer, for I am preparing to speak for you through blessings, through doors, opening where others thought they were sealed. I will honor your name. There are seasons when all your efforts feel futile, when your petitions seem to dissolve into nothing. But do not forget, the seed must sink into dark soil before it rises to the light. The silence you bear is not abandonment. It is the hush before the song of a miracle. I am quietly rewriting your story, a story that will leave others in holy awe when they behold its end. Those who mocked and doubted you will confess that it was my hand that lifted you. You will not need to speak, for my light in you will be the loudest voice. Do not fear being misunderstood. Human understanding has limits, but my plan for you does not. Guard your heart in purity, keep your faith like an unquenchable lamp, and I will turn every accusation to ash. When I say wait, it does not mean I forget. I am preparing the space for something greater. You feel isolated, but I am sheltering you from harm. I am hiding you beneath the shadow of grace, so that when the time arrives, you will no longer tremble. I know you are tired, but understand these trials are not to destroy you. They refine your soul. As gold gleams only after the fire, so your faith must be tempered to reflect my light. You have learned to stand firm in the storm. Now I grant you peace after the rain. A time will come when everything shifts so swiftly you can scarcely catch your breath. What once wounded you will become priceless wisdom. Those who left will watch you rise stronger than ever. You need not retaliate, for my justice will answer for you. I will show you that kindness is never wasted, that gentleness is not weakness, but strength born of heaven. When you choose forgiveness, you open the path for blessing to flood in. When you choose trust over resentment, you place the reins in my hand. These small decisions are the hinges upon which your destiny turns. I have set within you a light no darkness can extinguish. Though some may try to cover it, I will cause it to shine at the right time. This is not delay, it is preparation. I am enlarging your heart to hold what is soon to come. You will understand why I led you through pain, for only the broken know how to heal. Only the rejected truly cherish acceptance. And you who once felt forgotten will become living proof that grace can raise any soul to life again. Remember, you are blessed not merely to live, but to shine. Every step you take will testify to my goodness. When others ask why you still smile through sorrow, they will see me in your eyes. When they ask how you overcame, they will hear an answer without words, because it is I living in you. The wounds that once felled you will stand as emblems of victory. Every fear that bound you will be shattered by faith. I will turn all that once opposed you into the foundation for what is new. And then when you look back, you will know I never left. Every closed door kept you from the wrong path. Every unfinished dream made room for a greater one. I restrained you when you longed to run because I knew the road you chose would harm you. I removed certain people because they do not belong to your future. Do not mourn what has passed. If it truly belonged to you, I would not have let it slip away. You are about to enter a new season where every secret prayer will bloom. Do not measure yourself by others' eyes, for they see only surfaces. I see your heart, the place where faith still burns after every fall. I will honor that flame. Nothing you've endured is meaningless. It is building in you a strength the world cannot comprehend. You have walked through shadowed days so that the light might blaze brighter now. Do not fear being unknown, for I know you. Do not fear being alone, for I am here. You do not need to argue to prove your worth. Your peace will be the strongest testimony. When they wait for you to fail, you will stand. When they say you cannot, I will enable you. Each step forward will be evidence of my power. Your blessing will not be mere wealth, status, or success, but a free soul no longer wounded by the past, no longer imprisoned by fear. You will walk with quietness, and that quiet will thunder. I am raising a hedge of grace around you, not to pen you in, but to guard you from what is not yours. When storms arise, do not panic. Within the tempest, I will unveil my glory. You will learn that silence is no longer frightening. It is my whisper, the breath of heaven within your chest. Let your heart be still, for I am working within the pauses that seem empty of meaning. Soon others will look at you and know it could only be a miracle. Not because you were strong, but because you believed within weakness. Not because you were flawless, but because you kept returning to me. You are the proof that nothing can thwart my design. Your blessing is not for you alone. It is a lantern for the despairing. You will be a living reminder that grace never arrives late. It always comes on time, even when you thought my silence had stretched too long. Walk on with a steadfast heart. Let the past rest. Trust that every tear sown will ripen into a harvest of blessing. When your hands are empty, that is when I can place everything into them. When you have no words left, I will speak for you through what I do. The blessing will rise not only from without, but from within, from a faith refined by fire. And as you cross into the new season, you will know, my silence was never an ending, but the overture to a symphony called revival. I have walked through fire, and now I will walk in the light. No one can deny what I have ordained. My grace will not only protect you, it will lift you clear the path before you and restore with abundance everything that was once stolen. I am not merely answering your prayer, I am doing far beyond what you imagined. Prepare yourself, for your season has come, the season when my silence turns into the thunder of blessing, and the world will know you are the living testimony of my steadfast love. Beneath the very sky where you once lifted your face to pray in solitude, my light is now threading its way through every shadowed fissure of your soul. It is not a blinding glare that stuns the eyes, but a gentle, deep light that seeps into every cell of faith, into every crack of a heart worn thin by waiting. You believed all things had ended, that my promise was only a distant echo in memory, yet I remained quiet, patient, like a potter who never takes his eyes off the clay he is shaping. Every fragment of your life I have gathered, washed in mercy, and joined again with my glory. You do not know it, but I have counted each tear that fell. I have heard every sigh in the night, and from what seemed like scraps I have been weaving the tapestry of restoration. There were days when it felt as if everything stood against you, doors closing, friends drifting away, faith wavering like a candle in the wind. Yet, child, it is precisely in that wind that the flame is tested to burn brighter. I did not let you pass through long nights merely to leave you weary. I led you through, so you would know that light is most precious when it rises from within the dark. My silence is not absence. It is the moment I prepare a worthy reply. I do not stand far off and leave you alone. I stand so near that my breath moves with your heartbeat, only you have not yet felt it. When you think I am not acting, that is when I am working most powerfully, ordering every corner of your life so that all things align with the right time. Do you remember? When you asked me to break the chains of fear, I did not remove them at once, for I wanted to teach you to shatter them by your own faith. When you asked me to open a way, I did not draw a straight road. I set mountains before you not to block you, but so you would discover the strength within to climb them. Every trial, every pain, is part of my perfect design. I did not fashion an easy life. I fashioned a steadfast person. Great blessing is not handed to the faint of heart, but to those who dare to stand in the storm and believe what they have not yet seen. Now I am bringing you into a new season, not only of waiting, but of release. What once confined you, I am loosening. What once bowed your head in shame, I am turning into a crown of grace. I am setting your name back in the light that the world may know. My grace is real, that I can make what is ruined radiant, and what is forgotten a witness to wonder. You are no longer the overlooked. You are the one called out of darkness to carry my light. Every seeming setback has been the run-up from which I will propel you forward with greater force. I know there are moments you can scarcely believe in yourself. You look at the wound and think I have left you. But child, a wound is not the period at the end of the sentence. It is the soil where I plant life. Through what is torn, my light pours in. In the place you call loss, I am bringing forth the new. You have not failed. You are being refined. Like a gem hidden in stone, I am using sorrow to polish you until you mirror my light without shadow. When you feel spent, remember, my grace is enough for you. When you tremble in the storm, remember I am peace in the gale. When you lose your way, remember I am the way. You may not understand why everything has taken so long, but I tell you this, not a single moment is wasted. Each day you are patient, each time you choose forgiveness over resentment, each prayer you whisper through tears. These carve your name upon my arm. I forget nothing. You think I am silent, yet I am arranging all things so that when the blessing arrives, it arrives whole, nothing lacking, nothing misplaced. I am the God of precision, neither hasty nor late. When I say the time has come, every barrier will crumble. When I decree this is your hour, no power can oppose it. You will see what I promised brought to completion, not because you deserve it, but because I am faithful. I do not forget. My covenant, though you have faltered many times, you have fallen often, yet I have never let go. I remain arms outstretched to steady you, waiting for you to rise, waiting for the moment you see that the strength you seek is not in you but in me. As you begin to trust me fully, the world around you will begin to change. Doors once closed will open. The lies that made you doubt yourself will be erased. The shadows that dimmed your sight will vanish in the light of glory. I am rewriting your story not with ink, but with light. I do not erase the pages of hurt. I transform them into proofs of the power of healing. For a life untouched by sorrow never grasps the worth of redemption. I am turning nights you thought were hopeless into mornings of rebirth. I am making what seemed lost become seed that sprouts for the harvest to come. And when that season arrives, you will know that every tear you shed held meaning. Child, lift up your head. The night has passed. Dawn is breaking. I do not merely promise to bring light. I am the light. Let me shine through you that you may be a beam for those still wandering. Do not fear, for my hand holds you fast. Do not doubt, for I have engraved your name upon my palms. Do not look back with regret, for everything that has happened is serving a purpose greater than you can conceive. Walk on with courage, for wherever you place your feet, that ground I will make holy. I am restoring what seemed dead. I am breathing new life into dreams gone dry. I am teaching your heart to beat again, not with fear, but with hope. I am training you to see with the eyes of faith where nothing is impossible. When you dare to believe that I still do great things in the smallness of your present, that is when I begin to act. Faith does not spare you the storm. It lets you walk upon the water without sinking. You will find peace in the tempest, joy amid tears, and my hand beneath you in the press of trial. And when all is said and done, you will understand that everything had its reason. Not a drop of sorrow was pointless, not a single prayer ignored. You will look back and see I never left. Every step you took shaking or sure rested in my hand. I have called you by your true name, the name I gave you before the world began. You are my beloved, the living witness of my kindness, the dwelling place of my glory. Go on, child, for this journey is not over. The best is still on its way, and I, the faithful one, am walking with you, breath by breath, miracle by miracle, awaiting its unveiling. And child, as the light within you begins to blaze, do not let the voice of fear make you falter. Do not let the scorn of others make you forget the flame I set in your heart. Every ray you carry was kindled by my own hand, and no contrary wind can quench it. They may say you are not skilled enough, worthy enough, strong enough, but in those words you will see their own insecurity reflected, not your true worth. Let them doubt, for while they doubt, I am quietly raising you step by step, rung by rung, toward a glory only you were shaped to reach. You were not born to blend in, but to shine in the dark, to stand as living proof of my mercy and my boundless power. I know there are days you are tired, when every door seems shut and every prayer seems to dissolve into the air. Yet in that quiet, I am at work. When you cannot see, I am arranging. When you cannot hear, I am whispering guidance. I never sleep, and I never abandon you. Believe that today's tears are the rain that waters tomorrow's harvest. Your suffering is not meaningless, for within every wound lies the germ of strength, within every loss the birth of grace. Do not fear the lonely road, for those solitary steps are leading you to the fullest table already set by my hand, where those who once belittled you will bow to witness my glory in your life. Do you know why they refuse to accept you? Because in you they glimpse what they once wished, for the courage to be different, the resilience not to retreat, and the faith to go on. Your light unsettles the darkness in them, and they resist rather than face it. But you need not fight with anger. Stand firm in love, for the one who loves cannot be conquered. Forgive them not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Do not let bitterness take root in your soul, for where resentment dwells, light has no resting place. Let your heart be like a still lake where my light can be perfectly reflected. Child, do not doubt when everything turns a different way. When I remove something, it is not punishment. It is my way of clearing the road for what is better. At times I press you to leave what felt safe so you may discover your true foundation. My silence is not indifference. It is an invitation to listen more deeply. Each disappointment is the reshaping of your life. Every crack in your heart is a place I pour in grace, so that you may become the living proof of my compassion. I will lift you out of the ashes. What was broken I will remake with my everlasting hands. I will make your name known not by clamor, but by the unmistakable fruit I will bring forth through you. You will not need to fight for position, for your place has been appointed. Doors that once slammed shut will open of themselves, and you will walk through as though they had always belonged to you. This is my strength within you, not a noisy force, but a quiet, certain, unstoppable power. You are living proof that I am still working wonders in this world. I need no applause, no public approval, only your faithfulness and resolve. I do not ask you to be flawless. I ask you to be willing. When you offer me a true heart, I will use that very weakness to reveal my power. You will see that the limits you once feared become the wide sky where grace shines brightest. Do not strive to prove your worth to the world. Let the fruit of grace testify for you. For when I stand with you, no one can stand against you. Do you remember how many times you collapsed, certain you could not rise, and yet here you are stronger and more at peace than before? That was not an accident. It is the evidence that I have never left you, not for a single second. When you thought you had no strength left, I was bearing your burden. When you thought you were lost, I was holding your hand in the night. Remember, you never walk alone. Every step you take matches my footprints, even when your eyes cannot see them. And because of this, you can pass through the storm without fear, for on the wind I still whisper, "Do not be afraid, I am here." I know you have been wounded by those you trusted. They vowed to walk with you, then left halfway. They spoke of love, yet carved deep scars. But child, I am not like them. My love does not change, does not condition, does not end. I chose you before the world was formed, called your name, out of the void breathed my spirit into your first breath. No one can erase that choice. However far you wander, my love will find you. However lost you become, my grace will overtake you. I will not lose you, for you are mine forever. When you begin to believe this, the world around you will shift. What once terrified you will shrink to its true size. Those who once belittled you will have to look again. I will let favor fall on your life like the first rain of the season, soaking the dry places of your soul. You will not need to chase recognition, for you have received my seal, and it is the highest witness the universe can bestow. Walk with that holy pride, not the pride that exalts itself over others, but the confidence of one who knows they belong to the Most High. There will be seasons when you think no flowers will bloom. Be patient, for the seed of grace never dies. It is simply pushing quietly through the soil of trial. When the time comes, everything will burst into such splendor that even you will doubt your eyes. What you wept over losing, I will restore many times over. What you thought was finished, I will make new in a better form. Keep believing, even if your faith is no bigger than a mustard seed, for with just that I can set mountains trembling. Do not fear that your path is unlike others, for that is precisely what makes you singular. The world will always try to force its mold upon you, but you were made to break the mold, to open a way for those who have not yet dared to step. You do not need to prove you resemble anyone, for your calling is to become yourself, the very self I have shaped with painstaking love and purpose. Every mistake, every fall, every tear is part of that perfect design. Do not reject your past, for it taught you how to stand today. Do not mourn what is gone, for if it were still needed, I would not have let it leave. And when you reach the heights I have promised, do not forget to look back, not to revel, but to give thanks. Remember the days when you had only me, so that when you are encircled by radiance, you will keep a humble heart. Use the blessings you receive to light the way for others, for light holds meaning only when it is shared. Become living proof that my love is still at work, that miracles are not distant wonders, but the transformation of a once broken heart learning to love again. My child, I have ordained for you a future brimming with hope. You may not see it yet, but it is on its way. Every trial you now endure is preparation for the glory about to break forth. Walk with courage, for nothing on this earth can stop a soul I have chosen. When the world turns its back, turn your face toward me. When human hearts waver, set your trust in the one who never changes. Let each day of your life be a hymn of gratitude, a pilgrimage proving that love is greater than fear, faith stronger than doubt, and the light within you impossible to extinguish. for you are not merely a child of this world. You are a spark of eternity, a witness to my faithfulness through every generation. You carry in you the blood of covenant, unbreakable, unfading, irreplaceable. And when the fullness of time arrives, all creation will know that what I promise I perform. You will stand where others have fallen. You will flourish where others have withered. Every word I have spoken over your life will come to pass, for I do not speak in vain. I have chosen you to reveal my glory among humankind, and no one can reverse it. So keep going, my beloved, with a heart aflame and your eyes set straight ahead. Do not bow to prejudice, do not halt for the small voice of fear. Believe that even when you can no longer muster belief, I still believe for you. For I am your strength, your refuge in the storm, the light that never dies in the night. You need only move forward, and the rest leave to me. Beneath the shade of silence, and in the spaces that seem forgotten, I still watch each of your breaths and hold in my heart your quiet tears. Those moments when you felt forsaken, when your prayers seemed to fall into an empty sky. Yet you did not know that in those very moments I was engraving your name upon the palms of my hands. Every feeling of being overlooked, every weight of loneliness within you, is becoming a seed of blessing that is secretly sprouting. I forget nothing. I overlook not a single tear. I miss none of your soul's whispers. For in the stillness you mistook for despair, I am orchestrating a wondrous work, one that only the steadfast, the faithful, and the brave of heart will touch. When you choose faithfulness without seeing results, I inscribe it in heaven as the testimony of true faith. Each time you stand firm in the gale, I see the small light within you shine brighter than 1,000 stars. You do not know that storms do not come to drown you, but to temper the wings of faith, so that when the winds rise, the eagle soars higher. I have seen every time you held on with a torn heart, every moment you chose love, though wounded. Every instant you chose forgiveness over revenge. And I, the maker of the universe, have woven those very moments into a robe of blessing to wrap your life. Now that the time is ripe, I will act. Not in the ways you expected, not along familiar roads, but with a move that will make heaven and earth stand in awe. Every prayer you whispered, every tear you shed in secret, will gather into a torrent of grace. Those who despised you will not be able to deny what I am about to do. They will find no explanation, for true miracles do not bow to human reason. I am not bound by time, by prejudice, or by earthly power. When I decree, none can hinder. When I speak, nothing can cancel. I am opening before you a new path, not a worn trail from the past, but a way carved by my own hand. You will walk through what once seemed a dead end, and behold gates of blessing swing open from cliffs of despair. What was lost will return, yet not as before. It will be multiplied and drenched in favor. I do not merely give back, I renew, I restore, I make all things better than ever. I do the new not only to bless, but to show that I am alive, still at work, and that I have chosen you as the sign of my power among humankind. You may have thought the waiting years were wasted, that the promise was delayed. But child, not a drop of sweat shed in faithfulness is in vain. Everything I have allowed you to face carries purpose. When you were tested, I did not abandon you. I stepped back so your faith could grow, so you could learn to walk without seeing the whole map. I know how in the long nights you wondered, have you forgotten me yet? In those very nights, I was laying the foundation for the day of glory about to dawn. For blessing is not built on ease, but on perseverance. You persisted when others gave up. You kept your heart when all around you crumbled. And this moves me. I will use your very wounds to heal others, your very story to strengthen the faint-hearted. You are not only a recipient of blessing, you are a living witness to my kindness. When people look at you, they will have to admit that a mighty one is at work in your life, for no one turns ashes into blossom but me. Do not fear when I begin to shake what is old. The change I bring is not to take away, but to make room for what is better. I am breaking down barriers you could not cross and throwing wide doors you thought were sealed forever. You will no longer struggle to be acknowledged, for I, the righteous one, will compel others to recognize you by my works. A day will come when people ask how you made it through, and you will bow your head and say, "It was by my Lord." You have grown weary of waiting, but I say, my timing is not your timing. When you think I am late, that is when I am arranging everything, so the blessing does not merely arrive, but arrives rightly, timely, and in fullness. I never do anything halfway. When I give completely. When I move, heaven and earth shift. You will see how I turn the ordinary into the extraordinary, tears into laughter, and defeat into triumph. Understand that my blessing does not come to make you famous, but to magnify my name. Every good thing I do in your life will become a lamp for others. You will no longer live afraid of being forgotten, for I have carved your name into my palms. No power can erase it. Those who left you, who doubted you, will witness how I lift you up. But do not let that feed your pride. Keep a humble heart, for humility brings blessing to completion. Do you know this, my child? Each time you choose to love me, even before you see a miracle, the miracle has already begun. Each time you choose gratitude, in the midst of trial, the heavens open. Every word you speak in faith I hear. And now the time to answer has come. I will not only restore, I will turn your life into a great testimony. Those who once said you can't will have to witness I can. Doors that slam shut will swing wide for the sake of my name. Dreams you thought had withered will live again, breathed upon by my very Holy Spirit. Do not doubt, even when you cannot yet see clearly. Faith is not founded on what is seen, but on the one who does not change. Let your heart be at peace, for I am working in the quiet. When you walk through a barren season, I am preparing a downpour of blessing. When you stand in the shadow, I am drawing back the curtain of dawn. Trust me once more, just once more, for behind that door that seems closed lies a wonder you have never known. I am God, the one who called you out of darkness into light. I am the unchanging one, never weary of loving you. Everything I do, though you may not understand it, prepares the day when I bring you to the place covered in the radiance of my glory. Take my hand, do not turn back. Do not fear, for you are stepping into a new season of blessing, a season of recompense, a season of increase, a season where all you once lost is returned in a more beautiful form. And when you stand there in the sea of my favor, you will know that every tear, every lonely hour, every time you were overlooked were necessary pieces completing my glorious design in your life. I have begun a new thing, and none can halt it. For I alone have the right to rewrite your story with the ink of grace upon the pages of eternity. No matter how thick the darkness grows, do not be afraid, for within the deepest hush of night, my light is already breaking. You cannot see the whole road, but trust that my hand is guiding each step through the fog-bound turns. I know there are times you are tired, times you doubt, times you want to let go because you see no way out. Yet in that very moment, your faith is tested and your strength is forged. Every trial does not come to destroy you, but to awaken the sacred power sleeping in your heart, so you may discover you are stronger than ever with me beside you. Do not let the unknown make you tremble, for fear does not come from the darkness outside, but from confusion within the soul. Let faith be a small torch, small yet bright enough to light each step you take. I am your shield, your shelter in the storm, the gentle voice reminding you that you are never alone. As you walk, I not only follow behind, I go before you to make a way, clearing the thorns you cannot see. When you fall, I do not accuse. I lift you with boundless love, so you may understand that every collapse is an opportunity to grow. Under the shadow of my wings, you are covered with peace. And when you lift your eyes, you will see 1,000 angels singing a hymn of hope over you. You may not hear it with your ears, but your heart knows, for such a resonance cannot be faked. When you touch faith, every worry dissolves like morning mist in sunlight. You will realize it is no accident that you are reading these words. This is heaven's message, the whisper of grace. Listen deeply, for I am speaking to you, not with sound, but with spirit. Your angels are no longer only whispering softly. They are calling out to rouse you from the trance of fear, that you may behold the radiant plan I have drawn for your life. All the gates of hell cannot hold you back, for the light I give is shattering every shard of night. The enemy may scheme, but it quakes before my power within you. No curse, no despair can stand when true faith fills your heart. My light will pierce every barrier and kindle even the places you believed forgotten. And this time you will not walk alone, for you are robed in grace, upheld by my might, and surrounded by victory. I do not promise a road without roughness, but I promise that no step you take is wasted. Every tear, every wound, every bowed head in solitary prayer is recorded in heaven. In the long nights that seem endless, my light blazes brightest, for only in deep darkness do you see the strength of faith. Let gratitude lead you thankful for losses that matured you, thankful for pain that taught you compassion, thankful for the moments you felt abandoned when I was quietly preparing a wonder. Do not seek me in far places, for I am in your breath, your heartbeat, every ray threading through your night. Believe that all things unfolding are within my perfect plan, and though you do not grasp it all, you are perfectly loved. When you are weak, I am your strength. When you are lost, I am your true north. When you are in despair, I am the life that revives. Not a single cry of yours falls into emptiness, for I hear even the most silent sob. At times you think I am silent, but in that silence I am teaching you to listen within, to be patient, to trust. Do not fear the empty spaces. They are the room where I write in miracles. You are not merely passing through this life. You are the proof of my love, the light I send into the world to scatter the dark. You are chosen not because you are flawless, but because your heart trembles at what is good. Do not measure your worth by failure, for in my eyes you are ever the beloved child, ever worthy of every good gift. Lift your head not in pride, but because you carry my sacred light within. Every step bears the imprint of grace, and when you believe, the universe itself stirs to open doors that seemed forever shut. You will see wonders not far away, but in the smallest moments, in a child's laughter, in a breeze upon your shoulder, in the embrace of one who loves you. These are all my messages reminding you that you have never been forgotten. The world may change, hearts may grow cold, but my love for you is unchanging. I do not ask you to be strong at all times. I ask you to be honest with your heart, and when you are weak, let me be your strength. When you do not know where to go, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and call my name. I will come not as an image, but as peace spreading through your soul. Every storm will pass, and the gentle light of faith will remain. You will learn you do not need to understand everything in order to believe, for sometimes true faith is daring to step before you see. As you do, I will turn each step into a sign and wonder. You will witness change not only around you, but within you. Where fear once lived, courage blossoms. Where despair once lay, hope flowers. This is my power, and you are its living witness. So keep going, even slowly, even in small steps, for each step forward declares that light still triumphs over darkness. When you reach the journey's end, you will see that every pain bore meaning, every lost way led back to the source of light. And when you look back, you will smile, for through the long miles I never left you, not for a single breath. My child, amid the cold winds of loneliness, when your heart trembles in wordless emptiness, I am there, unmoving, unforgetting, unforsaking. I watch each fragile breath, each heavy step on the rugged road you tread. You think no one understands your pain, but I have heard the sobs hidden behind your smile. I have seen your shoulders shake as you tried to appear strong. Not a tear has fallen without my knowing. Not a sigh has gone unheard in heaven. My love has not faded for a moment. It covers you like the sun's warmth, though clouds may hide it, its light still streams through in silence. I have seen you sit alone at night, hands trembling around a scarred heart. You did not know that in those moments you felt abandoned. I was seated beside you, placing my hand upon your shoulder. I do not need you to be strong at every moment. I need you to trust that even in weakness, I remain your strength. When you fall, I do not rebuke. I lift you by love. When you are confused, I do not withdraw. I whisper to your soul, do not fear, I am here. Every time you thought you were walking through hell, I was carrying you through the flames. Every storm that seemed ready to bury you bowed before my hand holding you fast. You are not alone, you never were, and you never will be. Do you know why I am silent? Because sometimes silence is love's deepest language. I am not silent from indifference, but so your heart may learn to listen by faith. When I do not answer, it does not mean I am absent. That is when I am working most mightily in the unseen. You see only the surface of life. I see the currents beneath. I see you growing in resilience, in steadfastness, in a trust tempered by trial, and that makes me proud. For I do not wish to give you only easy things. I wish to give you a courageous soul that even storms cannot break. You were not born to be a failure. You bear the imprint of eternity, the breath of the Creator, and a light no darkness can quench. You may have thought yourself nothing in a vast world, but child, even the angels incline when your name is spoken, not because you are perfect, but because you are loved with my perfect love. When I look at you, I do not see your faults. I see the potential my own hands planted. I see a kind heart in a world grown cold. I see a small lamp, bright enough to light a room for wandering souls. You did not realize that your rejections, misunderstandings, and abandonments were how I kept you from roads that were never yours. I allowed doors to close, not to wound you, but to guard you from what would make you lose yourself. I diverted schemes aimed at you until they dissolved before they touched you. There are those who quietly wished for your collapse, but I raised an unseen hedge of grace around you. I am not only the giver of blessings, I am their keeper. Every step you take rests in the hollow of my hand. When you doubt your own worth, I remain unwavering in my trust. I do not see you through the lens of the world, but through the light of unconditional love. You may see flaws, yet I see the beauty I placed within you. You may think yourself small, but I call you a masterpiece. You may feel you are not enough, yet I say you are enough because I am in you. Do not let judgment drown out my voice. Do not let fear choke your faith. For I have chosen you, not by chance, but because there is a calling only you can fulfill. The flame within you is not of this world, but of heaven. However many winds may blow, I keep that flame bright with my breath. It is the emblem of a faith that cannot be extinguished, of a living hope amid what seems lost. Whenever you grow weary, I breathe warmth until that flame rises again. Whenever you are wounded, I mend your heart with love. And whenever you think you are lost, I turn your very pain into a compass that leads you back to the light. I do not promise you will never face trials, but I promise you will never face them alone. When your strength runs out, I will carry what remains. When you stumble, I will raise you up. When you are weak, I will be your strength. Do not measure your worth by outcomes or by what others see. Look into my eyes, where there is no judgment, only pure love. Everything I have promised over your life still stands unfaded and unchanged. Time may blur your memory, but it cannot erase my word, for my word is eternal, and it declares that you are loved, you are chosen, you are kept. Child, do not be afraid. Though the world shifts, I remain the rock beneath your feet. Though others depart, I am faithful. Though you wander, I seek you. Though you doubt, I wait with patience for your return. I do not ask you to be perfect, I ask you to be sincere. You do not need to prove anything, only open your heart to receive the love that has always been there. A love not earned by merit, not measured by achievement, but woven from forgiveness and boundless kindness. One day you will see that every tear, every pain, every time you thought you had shattered, was part of the journey of becoming who I destined you to be. You will look back and know I never left. In the darkest days, I was the lamp that led you on. When you believed you had lost everything, I was preparing the best for you. And then you will smile, not because life grew easy, but because you will realize I was there from the beginning. So lift your head, beloved. Let the light within you blaze again. Walk forward, not in your own strength, but in the faith that my love still surrounds you, as it did from the first day. For I have watched over you. I watch over you now, and I will watch over you always, not only with my eyes, but with the heart of the one who loves you more than his own life. I have seen injustice rise like raging waves surging to swallow you in a flood of cruelty and lies, yet every tear you shed I have gathered as treasure. Each tear is a wordless prayer, a witness to a soul that stands firm amid the storm. I have not let them vanish. They are kept as a pledge that heaven's justice never sleeps. I have engraved every tear upon my heart, and when the hour comes, they will become dewdrops of blessing upon you. All that was stolen will be returned, not merely enough, but in abundance. Every wound you endured will be replaced with complete joy. For I am the one who sees all, knows all, and never forgets. Your heart is not fragile as they suppose. It has passed through fire and still beats. Each pulse testifies to the endurance of faith. The world raised walls of deceit, hurled blades of prejudice, and sent bitter winds of doubt to break you, yet you stand. Not because you are stronger than others, but because you chose to stand with me. In the darkest nights when every other light went out, you kept a sliver of hope, and that very spark is sacred to me. It is not a vague wish. It is the seal I set upon your soul, the seed of grace no power can steal. I sowed that seed in you before you knew sorrow. Though storms ravaged and the soil of your heart was torn by wounds, the seed did not die. It rests in quiet, awaiting the season of restoration. I have watched each time you fell, and each time you rose again. I have seen you choose forgiveness over hatred, silence over strife, prayer over complaint. In those moments you fed that seed with light. And now I say to you, the season of blooming draws near. What you thought was lost has only been kept in my hands. No one can take what I have appointed for you. Some losses are but for a time, for I am rebuilding the foundation on firmer ground. I will return what was taken, not as it was, but multiplied, refined, and crowned with glory. Every insult that wounded you will be replaced with praise. Every rejection will be turned to welcome. I will cause those who shamed you to bow before the radiance I pour over your life, not for vengeance, but so they may know I am just and your faith was never in vain. I have seen the unseen wounds you carry, the rents in your soul unnoticed by others, the scars left by words sharp as knives. You bore them in silence, holding your dignity, while others tried to pull you down. But I have witnessed it all. I have touched each wound with mercy. Every pain you felt, I felt as well. And those very wounds, when touched by my hand, will become places where light pours out. People will no longer see pain in you, but glory. They will see not merely survival, but transformation. The hope within you is a flame that never dies. It may be small, yet nothing can snuff it out. At times you thought yourself spent, thought your faith an illusion. But just when you believed all was lost, I kindled it brighter. You did not know that in every collapse I lifted you, in every sob I dried your tears, in every night you thought you were alone. I sat beside you in the silence. I did not watch from afar, I was there in the storm, suffering with you. And now I tell you, justice is drawing near. All that was twisted will be made straight. all truth concealed will be brought to light. I do not forget who hurt you, and I do not forget how you kept your heart pure. That is why blessing will find you. No one can stop the spring I have ordained. No one can bar the seed from sprouting when I command it. Your blessing will not drift past like a breeze. It will pour like a great rain that waters every dry place. Those who said you would never rise will witness the opposite. They will see that I was at work in the silence of your soul. You have learned the power of perseverance, learned to stand when the winds change. You need prove nothing now, for the fruit to come will speak for itself. I will cause your name to be spoken not in slander, but in respect. I will open doors once shut in your face. I will change your circumstances not by instant marvels, but by the miracle of time, arranging all things perfectly according to my will. Only continue to believe, to guard your heart, for what I am preparing surpasses all you have ever asked. When I say I will restore, I mean I will make what was lost shine more brightly than before. I do not simply return, I renew, I beautify, I complete. Your fragments will be joined into a form more whole and strong. You will know that nothing was meaningless. Every hurt was soft earth where grace could take root. Every sorrow supplied the substance of compassion. Every betrayal became an invitation to trust me more deeply. You will see it was all worth it. That day is near, the day when tears are turned to laughter, when those who mocked you must confess they were wrong. I will let them behold the splendor of the seed of hope I planted in you. It will bloom not in secret but in plain sight, not only within you but throughout your life. Blessing will surround you like a halo, not for your boasting but for my honor. You will be living proof that whoever remains steadfast in faith is never abandoned. Therefore do not fear the dark days, and do not despise old wounds. All things are leading you to glory. I will restore not only what was taken, but the joy, the peace, and the dignity you thought were gone. Lift up your head, for the season of recompense is at hand. I am opening the heavens over your life. From now on you will not weep over the past, but for the goodness overflowing. You have been faithful in quiet places, and now I will honor you openly. Believe this: everything once stolen will become the foundation for the wonder to come. You will not only be restored, you will be reborn, stronger, brighter, and more radiant than ever. I see in your eyes the marks of fatigue, the questions that never found an answer, the dreams that seemed to close with the years. I know you have tried until you were emptied, believed, and then were broken, stood at a crossroads without strength to take another step. But child, know this: not a moment of endurance, not a breath of effort has fallen into a void. Every tear you shed is a seed sown in the field of promise, and harvest time is nearer than you think. I have not forgotten you, not for a single instant. When you sat silent in disappointment, I was already moving great things behind the unseen veil. The delay you feel is not refusal. It is the time I use to perfect every element, so that when the blessing arrives, it is not merely a gift, but a testimony to my faithfulness and to your endurance. There are wonders that can form only in the dark. A seed cannot sprout unless buried. A diamond cannot form without pressure. So with you, you cannot mature in peace without trial. I lead you through the wilderness not to leave you barren, but to teach you to find water in the well of your own faith. Each stretch of road, each collapse you survived was the very forge where I tempered your soul to bear what I have ordained. Delay is the protective shell that keeps greatness from arriving before you are ready. I do not allow my promise to be born too soon, for I am the God of fullness. My child, I have seen the nights you knelt in silence, not knowing what to say, with only a strangled sob left to become your prayer. Believe this: I do not need words to understand you. Your sigh rises to heaven like a bell that calls me near. I have kept every painful breath of yours in the hollow of my hand. When you have no strength left to speak my name, I still speak yours in love. Not one of your prayers is forgotten, even if it was only a fleeting thought in the dark. It is that quiet faith, that small hope that stirs the courts of heaven. For true faith is not the shout in a crowd, but the whisper of, "I trust in the stillness," and I tell you, heaven has heard. I am moving the mountains you thought could never be crossed. I am opening the doors the world has bolted before your eyes. You believed every path had closed, but I, the one who made the path itself, am sketching a new way shaped for you alone. Do not let what you see dishearten you, for your eyes cannot behold all that I am doing. The winding roads beneath your feet are the very journey that leads to wholeness. I am not only preparing the way for you, I am preparing you for the way. None of these trials come to crush you, but to prove you are chosen for something greater. The weight you feel is not a punishment. It is the sign that promise is drawing near. As pain announces the birth of life, so these pressures are the sign of a breakthrough at the door. You carry a new season within you, and the pain is the labor of blessing. Do not fear, for I am the midwife of miracles. I am catching every groan and turning it into a song of triumph. You think yourself weak, yet you are stronger than ever. For strength is not the mark of those who never fall, but of those who rise again, who keep believing, keep loving, keep waiting. Know this, no one can take from you what I have appointed to you. No lie can erase the worth I have placed within you. The world may mock and turn its back, but when I act, those who laughed will witness the blessing I give. What I am about to do in your life will silence every falsehood. You do not need to defend yourself, for my deeds in you will be witness enough. Guard your heart in peace, and trust that I am at work even when your eyes see nothing yet. Faith does not rest on what is seen, but on the one who does not change. By your faith you have built bridges in the unseen, and now I will lay them down as real roads upon the earth. You have not only touched heaven with prayer, by your steadfastness you have drawn heaven near to earth. Each time you choose trust over fear, you pull light into the world. Each time you choose love over resentment, you drive back the darkness. Heaven is no longer far away, for I am causing it to collide with your reality. I am pouring out blessing, not in drops, but like a sweeping rain. Breathe deep, my child, and say to your own heart, I believe. Not because all has become easy, but because you know I am faithful. Not because you understand everything, but because you know I am the one who never errs. When you say, I believe, heaven trembles, darkness quakes, and every chain is broken. Your faith bears the power to alter destiny. I do not ask you to be flawless. I ask you to be honest in your believing. Give me a seed of faith the size of a grain, and I will bid the mountains move. And I decree to you, rise, for your season has come. What you have long awaited is drawing near. Let go of fear, for I am in every breath you take. Hold fast, for you are about to see my promise unveiled in the light. Every shut door will open. Every dead end will become a way through. Every curse will turn to blessing. You will no longer merely hear of miracles, you will live within them. Because you have believed, I will act. Hold your heart steady, for what I am preparing to give will not only change your life, but the lives of those who witness it. And when all is fulfilled, you will know no waiting was wasted, no pain was needless, for all has been arranged to bring you to the glory of this day. My child, do not tremble before contemptuous looks or the whispers that circle you. They are only stray echoes from a world too dim to perceive the light within you. They think they can end your story with accusation, betrayal, and the wounds they meant to leave behind, yet they do not know that I am the author of this book. No one can write the final chapter while the pen remains in my hand. What they intend as an ending is but the opening of a greater chapter in which I will display my righteousness through your very life. They will watch you rise from ashes, radiant as dawn, tearing through the night of lies. They will know my hand never left you not for a single breath, and that every step you take is guided by the light of my boundless mercy. You need not justify yourself or cry out for justice, for I, myself, will restore what is rightfully yours. I will cause all to see that my grace is still at work. Those who scheme to bury your name in the mud of scorn will soon see you grow like an ancient tree roots, sunk deep in faith branches lifted to the light. Every lie they sowed will be choked by the plain truth of your life, vibrant living, resounding success, and a peace untouchable by any hand. And when they ask how you overcame, you will simply smile, knowing it was not by your strength but by my hand moving for you. Those who once laughed at your pain will fall silent when they behold your smile in victory. I will turn every tear into a gem, every wound into a seal of power. I do not merely mend the torn places. I am remaking you. I am anointing your life, that you may walk in a fresh authority and glory. My healing does more than restore you. It makes you stronger, deeper, and wiser. I will not only return what you lost, I will add to it many times over joy, wisdom, kindness, and a light that cannot be put out. The day will come when you step through doors once locked in your face. You will stand in rooms where others said, "You will never belong." Yet I, with an unseen hand, will open every way. You will be welcomed, honored, and loved, not because you seized it, but because my favor rests upon you like fragrant oil flowing from crown to hem. Where you were once refused, you will be received. Where you were overlooked, people will seek you for counsel, for light, for warmth. I will set you upon the heights of grace, and those who despised you will confess that I chose you from the beginning. Believe, my beloved, for a new season approaches different from all that came before. No more gray days, no more nights drowned in tears. The season of recovery has passed. The season of glory has begun. You will see what I do. From ruins I raise a sanctuary. From barrenness I bring forth fruit. From despair I cause hope to sprout. Your pain was not meaningless. It was the ticket that brought you into grace. You have walked through the long night. Now you are worthy to greet the radiant Sunday. Let this truth be carved deep in your heart. I have never stopped. All I am doing in you is only the beginning. I am opening a new chapter where all you once dreamed will come to pass. Do not look back with regret, for your best days are not behind you. They are rising before your eyes like dawn after the storm. Walk on in faith, for I have commanded my angels to go with you each step, each breath. They will guard you, uphold you, and clear the way before obstacles come into view. Nothing around you is random. All rests within the great design I have set in place. No weapon forged against you will prevail. No curse can bind your soul. No hatred can dam the flow of my favor through you. Every plan of the enemy will dissolve like morning mist under the sun of justice. You need not fight in your own strength. Stand firm in faith, for I am waging war on your behalf. There are battles you do not see contended in the unseen realm, and I am arranging them. I am silencing your accusers, undoing the dark designs they have sown. Keep walking in peace, for the victory was yours before the struggle began. Do not let fear chart your course. Fear is a mirage the enemy casts to make you forget the power within you. Do not worry about the future. I am already there before you arrive. Do not let the past imprison you in chains of regret. I have wiped the old away. Each new day is a blank page on which I write new lines, lines of blessing, of opportunity, of rebirth. Do not stare at where you stumbled. Look to where I am calling you. For when I have chosen to lift you up, no one can hold you down. The enemy wants you to believe you have been abandoned, that I have forgotten you in the crowd, that your prayers never reached me. But that is the deceit of darkness. You have never been forgotten. I have engraved your name upon the palms of my hands. Every line bears your shape. Every beat of my heart sounds with your name. I see you when you weep. I hear you when you plead. I touch you when you feel alone. I know your every thought, every fracture in your soul, and I am using those very shards to craft a masterpiece. You do not need to prove yourself worthy of my love. Only know that I am for you. I stand with you. I fight for you, and that alone is enough to still the world. Every attack, every criticism, every scornful glance will fade before the light of the truth I am about to reveal. When I decide to bless you, no one can halt my hand. Rest in that trust and keep walking on, for this journey ends not in tears but in triumph. You will see doors open where there used to be walls. You will meet those who were once strangers but are placed by me to uphold you. You will walk across territories you once feared and discover there was never anything to dread for. I have gone ahead to clear the way. Every hardship is only an occasion for me to display my power. Every trial is only a proving so that you may recognize your true worth. Keep your heart tender. Do not let bitterness crowd out love, for you are called to reflect me, the one who loves without condition, the one whose kindness does not change. And as you move forward in that light, you will come to see one thing: none of the pain you have endured was wasted. It is the very substance with which I compose a song of triumph. Every betrayal, every wound, every rejection is only a springboard to greater glory. You will see clearly that what you thought was lost is in fact being prepared to return in a more perfect form. Trust and keep going, for I am at work, quiet yet mighty, hidden yet unceasing. And when the time comes, all will see, and they will say, "Surely only the hand of the Lord could have done this." You do not need to argue, strain, or be afraid. Let your silence become the voice of strength. For while you rest, I am working. While you pray, I am arranging. While you believe, I am making a way. Take heart, my child, for everything is turning. You are no longer in the old season. You are stepping into a season of miracles, a season of recompense, a season in which my glory will shine most brilliantly upon your life. Your destiny is not tied to those who have left, for those footsteps were simply the necessary part of the journey by which you learn that true blessing never comes from human hands, but from me, the one who wrote your path before the world began. Do not mourn what has passed. Do not grieve those who are no longer beside you, for they are ones I permitted to pass through your life to teach you the worth of perseverance, of trust, and of love that does not change. Do not cling to anyone as if your future depended upon them, for those who remain with you are the ones I have chosen, and those who depart, I have determined, are no longer fit for the way of blessing I am opening. I want you to know that the tether between you and this world is not held by human hands, but by mine, the Almighty Creator, who has seen the bright conclusion of your story even while you walk through your darkest days. You may feel lonely, you may feel abandoned, but in that very moment, I am teaching you to stand by the sheer strength of faith. When others leave, I remain. When every voice falls silent, I still whisper to your soul that you have never been alone. Believe in what I've placed within you, for I have sown in you the seed of strength and light. Do not look at empty hands. Look to your heart, the place where I am planting hope. I have declared your end, and my word never returns void. That end is not tears, not injury, but abundant life, deep peace, and a joy no one can take away. You will pass through the storm not to be diminished, but to find yourself stronger, steadier, and nearer to me than ever before. I will set a table before you in the presence of your enemies, not to flaunt or to retaliate, but to prove that my blessing is not bound by the opinions or the gaze of the world. Those who once doubted you will be hushed when they see me lift you up. They will understand that it was not by your effort or your intellect, but by my hand, the hand that accomplishes the impossible. As you sit at that table before the very eyes that once scorned you, you will perceive something profound. True grace needs no defense. It shines by the fruit I give. I will make your life a living testimony to my kindness and faithfulness. All that was stolen will be restored in double measure. Not that you may become proud, but that you may know I still work, still remain faithful, and still choose you to reveal my glory in the midst of the earth. I am not a distant being enthroned on high and untouched by your pain. I am a Father, the one who understands every beat of your heart, who knows when you are weary, when you weep, and when you force a smile to hide the fractures within. I do not merely see your tears. I feel them as a blade upon my own heart. I know when you are broken, and in that very moment I draw near, gently laying my hand upon the wounds you try to conceal, not to condemn but to heal, not to rehearse the sorrow but to bestow peace. You do not need to be strong at every hour, for I do not demand perfection from you. I only ask that you be true to your own heart, because only when you let me step into that weakness can I transform it into strength. Let me be your peace, not the fragile peace the world gives, but the deep stillness that abides in the very eye of the storm. When your soul is in turmoil, come to me. I will give you rest. When you have lost your way, I will show you the path. When your heart wavers, I will be your sure refuge. I do not promise there will be no storms, but I promise that in every storm I will be there, amid the waves, holding your hand and whispering, "Do not fear, it is your Father." My peace does not depend on circumstance. It rises above every upheaval, for it flows from the one who does not change. And when you learn to let me be the center, you will find that nothing can steal that peace. I also want to be the reason you smile again, not because everything is smooth, but because you know that whatever happens, I remain in control. You will smile not because you have obtained all you desire, but because you know even what you do not yet have rests within my good plan. Each time you laugh through your pain, heaven grows a little brighter, for your smile is the evidence that faith still lives, that darkness cannot quench the light I have placed within you. What I have for you is neither rushed nor delayed. It comes in its appointed time, when you are ready to receive it, when you have learned the value of patience and the honor of treasuring what is truly blessed. The blessings I give are unmixed and pure, not born of ambition or fear, but of the most perfect love. All that I prepare for you is flawless, not by human measure, but by the perfect will of the Creator. You will come to understand that when I say not yet, it is not refusal, but a promise I am preparing something better. Therefore, release your grip on the past and on the ties that keep you from soaring. Believe that your life is governed by no one but me, the author of this story. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a child chosen by grace. Though others may leave, I remain. Though others may doubt, I still believe in the potential I have placed within you. You do not need to prove your worth before the world, for that worth has already been sealed by the love I have poured over you. Lift up your head, beloved. Tomorrow is not as dim as you suppose. You are walking in my design, a plan brimming with life abundance and a peace the world cannot give. Let me lead you. Let me be the light upon your path, the voice that whispers in the night, the arms that steady you when you stumble. And when you arrive at the place I have appointed, you will understand that every loss, every parting, every season of waiting was only a stepping stone to something more glorious, more radiant, and more worthy than anything you ever dreamed. For I am your Father, the one who never abandons you, and I am still writing the loveliest chapter of your life with an unchanging love. Now, beloved child, open wide your heart, that every word you offer may be more than sound. May it be the very breath of your soul lifted to the one who has kept you through every storm, so that your prayer may beat in rhythm with the heart of heaven. Almighty God, who loves me with a love beyond all knowing, I bow in deepest gratitude. Through the long months when I felt forgotten, you still watched over me in quiet mercy and raised me up with a compassionate hand. I can no longer count the times I fell, yet you never ceased to lift me. Help me not to look at the storm, but to look to you, the one who stills the wind and the waves. When my heart is weak, grant me strength. When I wander, shine on me the light of truth. Give me enough peace to believe that even in the silence, you are working for my good. Merciful Father, who called my name among multitudes, I offer you every broken piece of my life. You have seen my tears, seen me tremble in fear, and still you have loved me completely. I do not want to run anymore. I want to come home to your arms. Teach me to rest in your love, whatever may shake around me. Turn every tear into a seed of hope, so that when I look back, I see only your grace and faithfulness. Gentle and merciful Lord Jesus, I come before you with a heart that has been wounded. I tried to be strong on my own, but now I know my strength is nothing without you. Wash the dust of the road from my soul, heal every old scar, and fill the empty spaces within me with your love. Help me to believe that nothing in my past can steal the future you have promised. Let my life become a witness to the boundless kindness of the Savior. Lord, the source of my life, I thank you for not leaving me in the long nights of loneliness. I thank you that every pain I have borne has become a lesson in faith. I thank you that though I am weak, you still call me by name and entrust me with your favor. There is no gift greater than to be loved by you, no reward richer than to be kept by you. I offer this whole heart as a sacrifice of thanks, not because I am worthy, but because you are exceedingly kind. Eternal God, I bow in gratitude because you saw what was good in me, even when I saw nothing but weakness. I thank you that you did not judge me, but wrapped me in mercy. Help me always remember that every breath is a gift, and every morning I wake is proof that your grace is new each day. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong community of faith.